It's that time again, man. You're in here with them empty nesters. It's your boy Steve.
And your girl Nika.
Man, how y'all doing today, man? What's up out there, Texas 101 Jams family, man? How y'all doing?
Thank y'all for listening in. As y'all know, we will be on air every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time. 7 p.m. Central Time, okay?
Live from the Texas 101 Jam Studios here on the south side of Houston, Texas.
Yes.
If you missed us last week, man, simply go to MT_Nesters on YouTube and you can watch the video. Remember, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, man. How y'all doing out there, man? What's up, Nika? How you doing today, pretty girl?
I'm good. I'm ready to go on and get this show started.
Ready to get the show started? All right.
We're going to complete what we were talking about last week. So,
okay.
yeah.
We sound like you coming here with it on your mind today. Okay. Hey. Well, let's make sure we get it. We get it worked out.
Part two. It's going to be part two.
Part two, baby. Well, listen. I understand you. We gonna do something a little different, y'all.
Yeah. So I'm gonna open up with a prayer, y'all. Father God, we ask that you hear our humble cry, praying for peace and favor as we go on our daily lives. Father God, we believe in you and have faith in you with no doubt in our hearts and souls that whatever we ask you, we will receive it in your name. You have given us grace and mercy, and we thank you, Lord God. May you live on in our hearts and souls for days to come. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you for that, baby. And remember, man, if you want an amazing worship experience, you can meet me at the Crossing Community Church, man, Hiram Clark area, West Ormond, Waterloo. Don't ask me the address, I don't have it from the corner. West Ormond, Waterloo, formerly St. Luke's Church, is now the Crossing Community. Reverend Harvey Walker, man, amazing ministry out there. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, family Bible study, man. Sunday, 2 services, 8 a.m., 10 a.m., man. Don't meet me there, beat me there. We see you at the Crossing, man. I love you, Pastor. All right, y'all, man, let's get our week started, man. Nika, how was your day?
It was good.
It was good.
You know, I just got some things on my mind I need to get off from last week. That's all.
Oh, you got some things on your mind you need to get off from last week? Well, before you do, you know, I just wanted to, you know, can I talk to you for a minute?
Talk as long as you want.
Let me talk to you for a minute before you get it off your mind. You know, sometimes it's good to just tell you how I feel.
Okay, well, tell me how you feel.
Maybe I serenade you a little bit.
Okay.
Can't buy your fancy rings, all expensive things. No trips around the world.
Oh, come on.
Diamonds and pearls.
Diamonds and pearls.
What I have to give, though, baby, is more special.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
It's more special, baby,
What's
than anything you've ever known.
What is it?
My deepest inner feelings, baby.
Oh.
My heart, my soul.
You still trying to win me over, huh? After 22 years, you still trying to win me over. That's good, though. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Don't ever let it play out. Don't ever let it play out. Always show me how much you appreciate me and tell me how much you appreciate me.
Come on.
I need to hear that on the daily.
Man, this is the Empty Nesters. This is about parenting and relationships. And even though we having fun right now, man, I wanted to make a point. I definitely make sure every opportunity, every time I think about it, I let you know how much I appreciate you, what you mean to me, how vital you are to my success, like you said last week. Oh, no, I'm sorry, like I said. You thought it was funny, but a minute. I is we.
It ain't no I is we. You're going on with that bull. There is no I is we.
I is we, baby.
There is no I in W-E. Period.
Well,
we are one.
Well,
we are one. Not no I is we are one.
That makes I we.
That is no. We're just gonna use correct English.
Okay. So
and we're gonna say no. We are a union.
Okay.
We were married. We married, so now we are one. There is no I as we.
So you apparently came in with it on your mind. My feedback from last week, I got it. I did get feedback from a list. Hey, man, thank you to everybody who actually supports our platform. We really appreciate you guys, man. We're looking forward to really doing something special with this. So thank you for all the support. And we're going to continue to reach out and continue to acknowledge you. We love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So feedback from last week for me was, they didn't really get what the remedy was. That's what I heard as far as feedback. No one really got what the remedy was. And if for those of you that weren't listening, the question was asked, how is it that you get your young adult out of your house, right? You want, because we're the empty nesters, so of course we talk about, how do you empty out the nest? How do you get the adults grown? Because so often in our society, we have our young adults at home, not really being productive, not really, working towards growing their personal lives. And when we get to that point, as parents, we get frustrated, and what do? Right? Well, I'm blessed and fortunate to say we don't have that problem. We have an empty nest. But to answer the question, you want to go first as far as how do you remedy that?
How do you remedy that? So, first of all, we teach our children as when young. We start teaching them, what they need to be doing on a daily. Right?
Okay.
We start teaching them. I think we need to start teaching them the value of money.
The value of money. Hold up, stop. Let me stop you right there, because I don't like that statement.
Well, not the value of money, but the I'm talking about in a budgeting fact. Like
the importance.
The importance of knowing how to budget your money.
How to manage yourself.
Yeah, how to manage it. So when you young, you get chores around the house, right?
Okay.
So you can get, give them money, for their chores, right? So
okay, I'm pretty sure most people already do that.
So yeah, but then are you?
How do you make it translate over into being responsible and taking care of yourself?
Teaching them how to budget, teaching them how to budget their money.
Budget their money for what? They have no responsibility. They're
well,
child.
you're gonna teach them responsibilities. Show them. Start planning them now. Start showing them how you run your household.
Okay.
Right? They need to know. Okay, so we go to work every day. This is what we get. We know we have responsibilities, and this is what we need to do with this money. So when you get older, this is the same thing that you're gonna have to do. You have to be prepared.
Okay, so to me, that sounds like school if I'm a kid and I'm really not interested and I'm not listening.
Well, it doesn't matter if you want to. What you mean if you a kid?
If I'm a kid, you're saying explain to me the budget and tell you how I live and
you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
Okay.
You'll be surprised.
Well, let me add to it.
So when they're teenagers,
I'm listening.
right? When they teenagers, they come what, 16, 15, 16, old enough to work?
Okay.
So you can really start teaching them how to budget then, because y'all need to get a job.
Why do
you need to get a job so you can start preparing to be able to take care of yourself when you leave my house.
Okay. All right. So I hear you. But how do you make me understand that? What do you do?
I'm giving you an example. I'm showing you what I do. I'm showing you what I do on a daily. And what I do, when I get paid. This is, a lot amount for, the bills or whatever. And this is for me, and this goes to savings.
So to summarize your answer then, you have to educate them as you raise them.
Correct. That's what I'm saying, yes.
Okay, I could agree with that.
And when they start, being responsible, and then they turn 18, and, they still at home, okay, so now I'm finna start collecting rent. Because this is not a game. Because you're going to have to pay rent anywhere you go.
What's up, y'all? That's them nesters, man. Y'all in here with us. All right. So, my girl came in with it on her mind. She wanted to share it. So let's go. Let's deep.
Well, let's hear what you have to say. Go on and clean up what you were cleaning up last week. We can go back and forth. That's all.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't clean up my statements. I said what I said.
I mean, I clean it up and I make it a little bit more clear, because they were like, okay, well, you talked about the animals and how the animals do it, and then how the humans do it, and then
okay,
go right ahead.
Let me know when I can talk.
Go. You can talk.
Okay. Okay, now, let me sum it up. I simply said on last week, so what I got around to was this, just what you just said. You must prepare them. If you don't prepare them when it's time for them to go, they just not going to be ready. Now, you had a good point. As far as teaching, let's talk a little bit more about what teaching them how to be prepared looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to teach them what you said, right? So here's an example. Here's what I did. Okay, here's exactly what I did.
Here we go with this eye.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got. So I always speak from my perspective because
Why are we getting
truth.
personal on it
I'm
though?
not. Come on, tell me when I can talk again.
You can talk.
Okay. Now, an example, because now I speak from my perspective because I am successful. I did what it is they want to know how to do.
And so where's your energy?
I'm just saying.
That's your energy,
I'm
right?
on 10 right now.
Okay, so that's how you said I was. I was on 10. So
Why we talking about the break,
we
man?
gonna break it down.
Come on, man.
We on the
We
show.
gonna lose our audience fooling with you today.
No, they listening. Trust me. They listening.
So now, an example of teaching them how to manage money is this. Okay? So kids always want things, right? And you said 15, 16. There's no age too young to teach a child. Okay, so to me, that's a mistake, waiting until teenage years.
I didn't say that. I said started them when they're young.
Look,
You talking about also when they're young, they not gonna understand that. How they not gonna
Tell me when
understand?
I can talk.
When you do chores around the house and you're giving them allowance or giving them money. That's what I said. I didn't say just wait until they 16.
I can talk now.
You talk.
Okay. Now, children are always asking for things, right? Let's use, for example, a video game. How much is the average video game? What? 50, 60 bucks?
Probably more than that.
I'll say 50
These
bucks.
days.
That's how much a Madden game was when my kids was coming out. 50 bucks for a game, right? So your kid asks you for a game. Make the kid understand that the game costs and that they have to find a way to pay for it. How do you do that? Like you said, with chores, but make the chores matter. Pay them a wage. Teach them that, hey, okay, so you're working for X amount of dollars, because this is how the real world works. If you get a job, you get paid X amount of dollars per hour.
Correct.
And so I'm going to pay you the minimum wage. If the minimum wage, I don't know what it is now. Back then, $6, $7, whatever it was, I'm going to pay you the minimum wage. You're going to work those hours until you've earned enough money to pay for what you want. That teaches them how it really works. That's all I was going to say.
Okay.
And that's one of the tools that I actually use when raising our children.
Yeah.
And so I'm just speaking.
I think
from
we
my
said the
perspective.
same way, but I just said it a little different.
Okay.
We were meaning the same thing. You just went into a little bit
actually
more detail
teaching.
about it. Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
That's just one thing. That's
Right.
just one example. And let me be clear. I'm going to say it again, because remember, the question is, how do I get the grown one off the couch that's still there, that don't know how to get it together, right? You put his grown ass out.
Oh yeah, when they grow.
That's how you do that.
Yeah,
That's
you
just,
gotta go on,
you
put 'em
you
out.
can't get around it. You either put them out or you stop complaining about it.
Oh,
One
yeah,
of the
that
two.
part right
Because
there.
you didn't prepare them. That's just the reality. And so parents that don't do the preparing, they feel bad for the child and they put up with all this nonsense from the adult because they
I do agree
harboring
with
this
that.
guilt about what they didn't teach their child how to get out here and do for themselves, because they gave them everything. They never taught them the value of earning or having to get it. And now they're an adult, and you just tell them, go get it, go take care of yourself, but you never taught them how to go take
So
care
they
of
looking
yourself.
at you like,
You see,
how you do that?
so that sums up my answer on that.
So I mean, yeah, I'm with you on that.
So did you get that? Was that clear enough?
Yeah, but the bottom line is we want to try to get them prepared before we had to just kick them out.
What I said all along. That's why I went to the animal analogy, because every animal on earth know how to do it except for our smart ass. That's all I was saying.
Yeah. Well,
Every animal on earth know how to do it except for us.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then too, like I said, once they get 18 and
But is it right to just go push
I'm
them
just
out there
saying.
you didn't
No,
prepare?
no, I'm not just saying that. just not you're already preparing them, right?
And then
You're
who said
preparing them
18 is the, like, 18 don't
Well, you
necessarily
don't
mean
even.
you ready.
I'm not necessarily saying you have to put them out. Just like I said last week, you can be working and going to school. Yeah, I'm still, you can stay here, but you need to start budgeting your money because you finna start paying rent.
And honestly, I don't know.
And
I don't
then
know about
you
charging
can,
your kids.
okay.
know.
Listen to this. What if you're taking the money, like they paying rent, right? But you keeping that money for them. So when they get ready to move, you giving all that money back to them.
So I don't know about that either. As an adult, you can't live anywhere for free. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong to charge them something to live with you. But you're definitely not going to charge them what it would cost to live in the real world because they're your child.
I know that. I didn't say that.
But, I don't want my child to transition from the bedroom to the couch and paying me minimum rent. I want my child to transition into adulthood, get out and go build their own life.
That's just teaching them from day one.
That's just me.
From day one, just getting them ready to get out on their own. That's all I'm saying. You can charge them rent. You don't have to charge them rent. But my thing, if you did charge them rent, you can give them that money back that's money that they can put a down payment on some, a house even.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I like that.
So
I feel like the energy that came down a little bit, and you better now. You good?
I've been
Hey, y'all,
fine.
man, she been in the studio giving me the
why
business,
you saying
man.
I am on
man,
team.
y'all gonna have to go look at the bonus footage of the break time, man. Oh man,
bring that back on
she
down.
let me have it up in here, man. Oh Lord,
you need to stop. You need to stop. You know what? Thank y'all for joining in. I'm so happy y'all are joining in tonight. On Texas 101 Jams.
Texas 101 Jams, man.
With the Empty Nesters.
Look out, man. We gonna take another music break, man, and we gonna come back with y'all, all right? We back in here with y'all. It's the Empty Nesters, man. How y'all doing this season? Your boy Steve.
And girl Nika.
EMT_Nesters, man. Check us out. Go online. I'm sorry, go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
Like,
EMT.
subscribe, like, subscribe, share.
EMT_Nesters.
man.
EMT_Nesters.
All right, so now that we've gotten back into it, let's continue to have that practical conversation. Now, there's more to it. It's not as simple or as easy as what we're talking about on that side when it comes to children. I think the most effective thing you can do to be able to have that influence that the child even listens to your instruction is spend as much time as you can. You have to have a connection with the child. They have to trust you. As a man, communication, just like in a relationship, it's a relationship with that child as well. People ask me my biggest takeaway from parenting, if I could go back and start over, what would I do different? Coming from a family of strong men, I would say the thing that I would do different is the thing that was not taught to me by the men that I encountered. Now, I had some good role models, but no one never taught the men of my generation that it's okay to love on your sons. It's okay to make sure that they understand the loving side of you as well as the physical, aggressive, hard. Because we're taught to be hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say they make them think
that
makes you feel weak.
That was the perception, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I mean, we had to be. You have to think about where the men of our generation have evolved from, what they've had to go through over the years. We're talking about being in Texas, the South.
Yeah.
My dad grew up in the 50s. My uncles grew up in the 50s and 60s. I can only imagine what they had to endure. Yeah. I know what I've had to endure.
We ain't got time for that. Suck it up.
Exactly. And so in hindsight, I would say that that's the piece that I left out that I wish I could go back and do again. I would be no less of a disciplinarian. I would still be a no nonsense. You got to be a no nonsense parent. I mean, if you're a parent and you got a 2-3-year-old child and you can't control them, I'm sorry, you got issues. That don't get better. It only gets worse. It only gets worse. So, I mean, you got to nip that in the bud. And the only way you really nip that in the bud, you got to get that out of that kid. You know, you gotta check those situations in that moment. You can't just, because now if the kid,
Yeah, because I think the parents need to start communicating and being involved with their children and just stop giving them their tablet.
If you do the work early though,
the tablet is raising.
If you do the work early, you don't have to do it later. What do I mean by that? From the time a child is born, they understand. Whether we realize it or not, they just don't. They haven't learned to speak and communicate it the way that we do, but they're absorbing it. That mind's a sponge. They're listening. They're understanding. You can start teaching immediately. You know, and they connect to you automatically. They know it's you that they're looking to for everything. And so, as they grow, you just have to teach them, that they can't do that. In that moment. Now, I'm not talking about an infant baby. Babies cry.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a baby for a long time, so I'm not trying to tell you how to raise y'all babies. Please don't, But when our kid gets to a place where, they're signaling and talking and trying to really communicate with you.
Interact more.
It's time to start teaching. And, and you can then begin to implement whatever you want that child to know. And they're going to understand it and they're going to know it. I mean, you need an example? Think about it. Look at how, I know so many young parents that have kids, right? And you see the kid with the parent and the kid is just doing the fool. And then the parents say, well, he don't act like this with his daddy, or he don't act like this with my parents, or blah, blah, blah. That's because your parents and his daddy have taught him that you can't do that with me.
Yeah.
You got to teach them that. They know that they can do that with you. And most mothers, and I don't know what it is about mothers and boys, oh Lord, don't get me started. They just let them just
rule them.
Yeah.
Rule them.
And then you get these young men that have absolutely no respect. And I know because I work with young men. And so that's how I know that this is a real problem. You get these young men that didn't have male influences because their daddy wasn't there. But guess what? To be a man, you got to see a man. It don't necessarily have to be their daddy, because you're looking at a man that my daddy didn't put this foundation in me. My dad and I had a great relationship as men. But as a child growing up, it wasn't my daddy that raised me. So, I can tell you from experience that, you can make sure that your child, is around influential men, that will still put a positive influence and impact on your son. Because that's what real men do. Yeah. That's what I've done in my industry. Any of my clients that have ever came to my barbershop and had to bring their sons, so I know that there's a disconnect, because why is your mama bringing to the barbershop in the first place? So I know that this kid, this young boy, he needs some male, grooming. And so, a real man like myself, and I'm not anyone out here that sees that identifies that, we're going to do all that we can to sow into this young man.
Yeah, we need to
because we know that he needs to be a man.
And that goes for these, young ladies. Y'all need to be mindful and aware and careful who y'all having children with.
Well, I mean,
that's my opinion.
Hey, you're entitled to it.
That's my perspective. Be aware of who you having children with. That's all I gotta say about that. Be aware of who you having children with.
Well, I'm not gonna.
As far as that, if you thinking that man gonna be in your life,
Well, some brothers with some slick lines, man. They be selling them dreams, man, and they be buying them hook, line, and sinker.
Women get caught up, or young ladies get caught up, and find themselves, raising their children on their own, trying to raise their son, So it's just good to have a male figure raising a son, a sufficient male figure.
Well, I mean, okay, so to that point too, programs, sports, it don't have to be football. It doesn't have to be sports at all. It could be something socially, though, that gives your child an opportunity to interact with boys and men and support them on it. Don't just put them in the program and say, oh, he over there, he fine. No, know what's going on with your kid. Know if it's something that they're really interested in.
And shout out to these moms who are raising young men, and they are, they just turn out to be, good. They awesome. They doing their thing.
I've met quite a few.
They respect women.
I've met quite a few.
They respect their mom. They're gonna respect women. So
definitely.
Yeah. Shout out to those moms.
Yeah. Anybody out here, single mom, single dad, parents, couples, whatever the case may be, whatever you are, whatever your situation is. Because here's what I also know. A person don't go into a situation saying, oh, okay, I'm going to walk away from this. At least I would hope they don't. And to these young men, I'm just going to go and say, I have no respect for a young man that don't step up to the plate and handle what he's supposed to do. Yeah. They use the excuse that, his mama tripping. Well, she wasn't tripping when y'all was making a baby. So,
but you had to put that aside and focus on the child. Focus on the child.
Child has to come first. Absolutely right. I totally agree with that. And as long as you do that, because that time investment, now this all ties in. Because if you want to have the influence to be able to teach the child, you have to have the relationship that you are a true influence on the child. If you want this child to listen to you, if you want to be able to speak to this child, have them listen to your instruction, have them learn from you, you have to be in a position that this child respects and values what you have to say. And if you're a dad that only comes around from time to time and, oh, you my boy or you my girl and I'm your daddy, but you're not spending any real time investment, you're not in anything that they're involved in, you don't know their teachers, you've never been to their school, you have no idea what's going on with this child, well, you're in no position. You're in no position. This child doesn't want to, you're a stranger. Why would they listen to you? You can't be that.
That's when they act out.
You can't be that. And I'm talking to all parents, though. Because you have parents with children right at home, but they're not active parents.
Yeah.
And that's another
thing. That's why
thing.
I say in the beginning, starting from younger, interact with your children, communicate with your children.
Yeah. Listen, if I'm being honest.
Listen to them.
Hindsight.
They have feelings, too.
Hindsight is 20/20. I wish I had spent more time just talking to my children. Just, hey, let's go get an ice cream. Let's go sit down.
Yeah.
Let's talk. How you doing? How was school?
Yeah.
How was your day? We take for granted because we get caught up in our lives because we have to provide. And it's difficult out here. I know that, and so it's easy to allow that stress, that pressure, that circumstance to keep you in that grind mode of making sure that I got to maintain this here because I got my babies looking at me. But my babies don't really know what's going on. They just watching me hit the door in and out, and they in the room growing up on their iPad.
That's what I said.
On their video game. So we got to be mindful of that. Being able to have that influence on that child, being able to teach that child, all of that has to go together. You have to be able to do all of the work. You can't just do some of it and expect it to be just as effective.
Yeah.
You have to do all of the work as a parent. You have to be 100% involved. You have to come second to your children's needs. Bottom line, there's no way around it. You have to put the child before yourself. If you really want to see that child flourish and benefit to a life that's beyond your bedroom and your couch. But once you do the work as they're growing up as a child, they're going to appreciate that.
They will.
I made so many mistakes, in my opinion. I made so many mistakes, but again,
but we all parents. It's not like we have a manual to go by. So parents make mistakes.
Exactly.
So we only doing what we feel or think that is right. So
in the moment.
Yeah, in that moment.
That's right.
So it's like we learning together.
True.
We learning together.
Well, I can tell you this for a fact that your children will definitely appreciate that genuine effort from you once they become of age, through understanding eyes to see that you truly put them first and that you truly put their needs out front and you did all that you could to support them in transition and using the platform that you've provided for them to grow into their next. They're going to appreciate that.
Yeah, they will.
And no matter what it looks like on the surface, if you lay the groundwork, you lay the foundation, you do the work, you put it in there, you instill it, well then when it comes time, they're going to be able to reach back and grab what you put there. And the funny thing is,
and they may not do it how you did it. They might have their own little twist to it, but
they'll tell you.
They'll tell you.
They'll tell you. You'll sit down and they'll tell you, I was listening.
Yeah.
And it feels good when that happens. All right, y'all. We're back in there with you. It's the Memphis Nesters, man. We having some fun in the studio today. How about you, baby? How you feeling?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Hey, man, remember
It's
EMT_Nesters
good
on
vibes
YouTube.
only.
EMT_Nesters on YouTube, man.
Like, subscribe, and share.
We'll be dropping video footage, backstage. I'm sorry, behind the scenes, us in here just having some fun, man. Listen, you don't get to where we are in our relationship together, as well as with our children, without having to have gone through some things.
Something.
All right, so make no mistake about it. I don't sit here in front of you trying to pretend to be perfect, trying to pretend to know everything.
We are not.
That's not what we're doing here. All right, we're just being open and honest about our perspective, because we have gone through some things, and we have. Oh my God. I always tell parents, parenting don't get fun until your kids get to middle school. Because that's when they lose their goddamn mind. So get ready.
6th grade.
I don't care
12,
what
not
all children. Not all children. But the majority. And I'm just basing it on our numbers, because we had 6 of them.
They're going to test you.
So I'm going to say about 80%. About 80% go crazy. But they gonna have that one incident that you're gonna be like, who child are you? What you did? What? Like,
sometimes I still say that.
What happened to your? Did your brain just turn off for 5 minutes and you just woke up and this what you had did or something? Like oh my God.
But if you think back, you done did some crazy things too.
Absolutely right.
So you be like, well.
And so
you learn from that.
When you think back, and you remember the crazy things that you did, remind yourself why you did them. If I'm thinking back and remembering, it's because I didn't think of consequences. And I was just being stupid and reactive to other stupid people, because it's usually some other stupid person involved in your stupidity when you're a kid, or other stupid kids involved in your stupidity, and you become one of the stupid kids that didn't think.
You had these ones that are just curious. Just curious and do things.
Curiosity and stupidity are gonna yield different actions, though. Curious actions and stupid actions are different actions.
I'm just saying, you have those curious ones.
You do have. But when you're being curious, you're thinking. you're being intentional when you're being curious.
I wonder
so it's kind of different.
What's gonna happen if I do this?
But you at least thought about that.
Yeah.
That's curiosity. I'm speaking about stupidity.
Just doing it.
Dumb stuff.
Without thinking.
Stuff, actions that you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
That are wrong, and you gave it no forethought at all. You just somebody say, hey, we doing this, and you just jump right in and fell in, and we doing it too. Or you might even be the ringleader for them, because it had to be a ringleader. You want to think it wasn't my dumbass child that thought this up. We all, as parents, we all want to be able to say that, but the fact is, it doesn't really matter. If they did it, they did it, which leads me to a point. Another thing you want to teach your children is that actions have consequences, and so you must think before you do something. Every action has a reaction, right? You're not going to always be there with your child. They're going to have to go out and think for themselves. And here's what we don't take account for. Why would my son do something like that?
You just praying they make the right choice.
You got a 2-parent home. We teach them everything. We do everything for them, right? Well, you're right. You're right. You're teaching your son all the right things, right? Or your daughter all the right things, right? But they go to school and they sit next to Lil Baby. Lil Baby got a totally different life than your son. And that life is so exciting to your son. And so that little baby done taught him all kind of stuff that he never would have learned at home. We don't consider that. But if you have that
Okay,
conversation,
so what we doing? We teaching them about little baby.
well, no, you can't. But see, you can't pick their friends.
I'm not saying you can pick their friends, but you can still, advise them.
So
right from wrong. Just because they're doing this doesn't mean it's right.
So here was my advice. Because again, every situation we might think about, I done touched on it on some form. My son, my middle son, his whole team, him and Dre, the only two that's never been locked up. The whole rest of the crew done been locked up, and about 3 or 4 of them dead now. My son ran with a crew of undesirable young teenagers. I knew that. I never once told my son, stay away from those boys. You know what I told my son? I told him this. I say, son, listen to me. You got to make your own mind up. Real actions has consequences, right? If those are truly your friends, when they're about to do something, when they about to go on a mission or do something you ain't supposed to be on, right?
Think about it.
Just let them know, hey, look out, man, y'all do what you do. I'll catch up with y'all later, right? Now, if they try to shoot that, that's not your friend. If they can respect how you feel, adapt you, and okay, we get back at you, that's your friend.
Yeah.
No matter what he doing or not doing, if he can respect you, he got genuine love for you. Yeah. And he not going to try to put you in that with him because he know you don't rock like that. Mm-hmm. So that was the advice I told my son. And guess what he told me?
What did he tell you?
He told me he followed that advice.
Well, we know.
And when his partners was going to do something that he know could have got him in trouble, he just douched them boys and told them he'll holler back at them later.
Yeah.
Didn't lessen my worry about him, because now if your partners do something and somebody coming at them, they don't care that you didn't have nothing to do with it. So as a parent, you have that worry as well, the company that your kids keep. Because if they keep this type of company that's out doing who knows what, there's no telling when those circumstances are going to catch up with them, and you just don't want your child to get caught up in that.
So we talked about how to get your kids ready to leave home.
Everything that we're saying, though, contributes to that.
Of course, that's growing up.
Everything that we're saying contributes to them being ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of this work has to be done over the years of raising them.
I know, I'm just saying. So we have talked about them, getting them prepared, getting them ready to leave home. And then, helping them or advising them to make the right choices.
They got to learn how to think. Our best thing you do is teach them how to think, because they're going to have to make choices on their own, and you're not going to be around. And so you just want them to make good choices.
Yeah.
They make good choices. Good choices yield good results. Bad choices yield bad results. It's that simple. That's how it really works. Yeah. And so, you just teach them that. And I guess my biggest piece of advice, too, a lot of parents shield and they shield their children. They protect them. They guard them. They don't let them see life through realistic lenses. What's the word I'm looking for? They shelter their children. Most parents shelter their children. They don't want them to see life through the reality lens of how messed up society really is. But in my opinion, that's one of the worst things you can do for your child, because when they do have to get out here in the real world, they green as a golf course. They got big eyes, and that's easy for little baby to take them fast.
Yeah.
If you give them up to real while they growing up, they know, they understand. Yeah,
that's true.
You have to understand what's going on out here, man, because this world will suck you up and spit you out. You know how hard it is for you as a functioning adult. So you definitely want to do all you can, to prepare that child as they're growing up.
Right.
From day one. Bottom line, from day one. Be active, put them first.
Communicate.
Teach them everything that they need to know. Invest in them. Make that child more important than your job. You can't never go to your child event because you got to go to work. No. What impact do you think you're going to have on that child? Yeah. They're out here raising themselves. And I get it. Trust me, I'm not being judgmental. I understand we all have to live, right? But create whatever you need to be able to put them first. Because I'm a firm believer. See, my faith carries me. I'm not worried about a job. I know if I do what's right, I'm going to be good. Yeah. And it's, I've been rocking like that since day one, and I'm straight. I'm success. Everything about me is success. My failures are simply lessons for success.
Not an option.
Everything is a success. It's mindset. Put the right mindset in your young people. When they grow, you'll see it manifest through their actions, and they will make you proud. Take it from me. All right, this your man Success.
It's your girl Nika.
Hey man, we're the Empty Nesters, man. We getting out of here till next week, man. EMT_Nesters.
Our YouTube page.
EMT_Nesters, man. Live from the Texas 101 Jam Studios here on the south side of the H-Town, man. This is the Nesters. We love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Till next week. Peace.